The shoe manufacturers design the shoes for a really nice step-in feel. So you take it out of the box, you like the look, the marketing's good, your neighbor wears it, you know, ooh, look, those are cool. You get it on your foot out of the box and you're like, oh, it feels great. So you got a great cushioned shoe, out you go. Well, again, if it's not the right shoe for you, like in your case, it sounds like the fit was wrong, it didn't have enough structure in it, her foot was moving around in the shoe, and she got blisters. So even if you have the right size, the right sock, and you're doing everything right, all of a sudden, you know, what happened? And it's just that your foot is actually moving around in there. So the number one thing that you definitely want to do is make sure that your footwear is good. Keep a mental kind of gauge of what's going on down there. So as you're going, you're just like in a car, you know, what's my oil pressure, how much gas do I have? You want to do the same thing. You really want to feel, are these either getting flat? Do they feel like they're just no more cushioning in them? Am I really moving a weird way? And you can even help each other too, because if you see somebody whose foot is doing something really funky, you're going to become an expert yourself. You're going to be able to be like, wow, she's really pronating a lot. And you can at least help a buddy out and mention it. So you're all going to work together as a group like that. But anyway, what you'll do is all runners get these preferences. They start to know what they like. Just like foods and other things in life, you'll start to gain this knowledge. And we're here to help you find out that knowledge as well. And then that's just what you look for every time you go and replace that shoe. So that's a lot of information. Does anybody have any questions? Yes?
If we're going to be walking, not running, do you recommend running shoes, or do you recommend walking shoes? I know they used to try to sell.
I kind of agree with the guidelines that are in the document that you guys got. A lot of times a walking shoe is it's really just like a plain cross trainer. What they'll do is they'll have like, you know, I don't know, a million of these midsoles, this section here, and they'll just stick a walking looking upper on it. So it's usually fake leather or leather, it doesn't breathe as good. Yeah. I mean, the beauty of this is that you're going to be able to fine tune some of these features your foot needs, because there's just way more of a selection in the running line. And then you're going to have the breathability that you need on top of it. So it really depends on the feel of it. You'll notice you'll try one shoe and it'll feel like it's really tipped up. If there's a really high back end on it. As a walker, you might not like that. That might be too much. Other people like that the heels set down a little bit. That's a little bit personal preference and style. You know, and we'll help you with that too when because we'll want to encourage you to test it. You'll walk around here. You'll just try to get the feel of the shoe. And when something doesn't feel right, you'll immediately notice that's not right. But walking shoes in general are not a good idea. The companies don't put a lot of emphasis in them or anything. Yes?
About bunions.
Good point. Bunions, a lot of people say that they're hereditary. And I think they are to the degree of so is like high cholesterol or something. But the way, like in a diet, you probably have high cholesterol because you all eat the same thing. You know, bacon and eggs in the morning, whatever. With bunions, it's the same kind of thing. It means that you're prone to having shifting in the front end, and when your bone gets pressure against it, it's so nice to you that it decides it's going to help you, so it builds up bigger and better. And before long, you know, now it's compromising the fit of the shoe. So what you need to do in that case, a lot of people have that type of issue. In fact, if we were using her as an example, let's say her arch comes out of size 11. This is a women's size 11 insert. And what this will do is this will not fit in her shoes because it's way too long. But if she steps on this arch section is going to fit just right. In fact, can you be our model again and step right down on that? When you look at this insert, see how her foot, you can see it if anybody wants to come around. This follows all the way down and just to the point where it ends. If she were to step on a size 9 insert over there, you would notice there's a whole gap right here. And what would happen is, without that insert or without anything supporting her arch, she's going to get that shifting. She's going to get that front end wiggle. And that, over time, will build this bunion. So the thing to do is you have to isolate that heel and stabilize it. And you have to make sure that you get some support up through the arch. Some people need some arch support. A lot of arches are fine. The shoe, again, what happens in her case, if she's in a shoe like this, This is going to hold her when her foot finally gets over to the side, but it's almost like, you know, you're in the car and you go all the way and touch the side of the car, and that's holding you. Well, the seat belt can come maybe, or the bucket seat can kind of guide you in a safer spot, keep you in the middle. Well, the inserts do the same thing. So you would want to isolate that. So if anybody does have a bunion, the worst thing to do is get a cushion shoe where you think you need a lot of cushion, or just don't do anything about it. Your body is saying there's an issue, and whenever you see a callus or any kind of bunion, just address it. Find out, why is that happening? So
Can you cut the toes so that the insert fits into your shoes?
you guys are good, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, what you would do in this case is take the insert out of all these. They just have these removable sock liners, they call them. As you can tell, there's nothing in these things. This is made to keep you off of just touching the laces and all inside. And you would take this, and there's your template. And that's about the size difference that she is. She's about, 4.5 sizes.
And do you just put them in and use them, or do you break them in?
Well, they need to be broken in a little bit, but because your foot will mold into this, and like she was saying, your feet are a little different. One foot's a little different than the other. So the best thing to do is, especially when you have a longer arch, shoes don't need a whole lot of break-in, but if she's bending that shoe in a different spot than it's designed for, it's best to walk around the house a little bit and make the shoe do what you want before you're doing that same motion again and again. Because around the house, real subtle, you can break it in easier, so that's what we would recommend you do with an insert, is break it in. But that's exactly right. You cut down the front end and you stick it in there. Now, the one thing about the insert that's important is all those Dr. Scholl commercials with the gelling and chilling and all that, again, it's marketing BS. Unfortunately, it is. I see so many people come in here and I'm like, they've got an arch issue. Their arch is killing them or their heel's killing them. And they take off their shoes and out comes this Dr. Scholl's. And I gotta say, it has as much support as that. You push down on it, you're like, all right, that's good. And like this kind of thing here, when I push on this, and anybody, you can come up here afterwards and feel this. This is not gonna give. It's gonna really hold your foot up. So it's not all fancy, it's no chilling going on, but that's what really works. I mean, if you're gonna put something in your shoe, it should do the job.
Can you put them in your everyday shoes?
You can. And some people have issues, especially if you're on a hard surface like I am all day. I have orthotics inside my shoes, and I spend a lot of time doing just this. It looks like this sometimes. I'm on one foot, but I'm just standing on a flat, hard surface. And if I don't do that, then my foot is going to constantly just move around in the shoe all day. And it'll be pretty just irritated at night. And then let's say now I'm going to run on top of that. Now I'm really doubling up and I'm looking for trouble. So you have to consider, that's a very good point, is that what you do all day and your running are part of your whole exercise lifestyle. And so is, like, now it's going to get warm, we're going to start cutting the grass or doing some other chores around the house. That's more time on your feet. So if you're wondering one day, why do my legs feel so bad? It's a combination. It could be the fact that, yeah, you're upping your schedule for your event, and you spent half the day on your feet, and you sit all day normally in an office. So you have to consider all that and wear the right appropriate shoes when you're really using your feet. So.
And do you wear your running shoes? I know I'm married to Imelda Marcos as far as shoes goes, but he's always said, don't use your running shoes to do your day-to-day stuff. Have another pair of shoes, good shoes, to do that, but use your walking, running shoes to walk and run. Use your other shoes to do the rest of the stuff.
That's good. We are a dog-friendly store. There's 2 rules of thumb on that one. I mean, I get that, but I don't personally do that.
Okay.
I use my better shoes for, and they just wear out faster.
Okay.
But you can't expect to get a lot of mileage out of shoes if you're going to do that. But right, if you're going to be running, that's going to be something where that's your A game. You've got to have the good set of shoes for that. So if you're rotating